So Donald Trump just pardoned Mike Flynn. And I have a feeling on the corrupt pardons front, Donald Trump is just getting warmed up. Now, what should happen next to Mike Flynn's criminal case that's before Judge Emmet Sullivan? Let's talk about that. Because justice matters. Hey all, Glenn Kirshner here. So Donald Trump just pardoned his criminal former National Security Advisor Mike Flynn. Here's the headline from NPR. Trump pardons Michael Flynn, who pleaded guilty to lying about Russia contact. We could round out that headline by saying he actually pleaded guilty twice in his case to criminally lying to the FBI. Now, corrupt pardons are expected from corrupt presidents. We've come to know this, right? I'm going to suggest that in a way, this is a good thing. Stay with me. Because what this does is it reinforces just how abusive of the rule of law Donald Trump is. It reinforces how he's willing to do anything to shield his co-conspirators, his criminal associates, from accountability for their crimes. I mean, really, did we expect Donald Trump to improve at this point? To grow as a person? To magically morph into somebody who became a devotee of the rule of law? Remember, he also corruptly commuted Roger Stone's sentence. He didn't pardon him, but he did the next best thing. When Roger Stone virtually had 1 foot inside the front door of the federal prison, reporting to begin his 40-month prison term that was handed down by a judge after a jury of his peers convicted him of lying to Congress, of covering up, of protecting Donald Trump. At the last minute, Donald Trump corruptly commuted his sentence. So we've been here before, and the corrupt commutation of Roger Stone's sentence will have to be taken up beginning in January, and there are 2 ways to undo it. That is the subject of a future discussion. Let's get back to Mike Flynn. You know what should happen next? Recall that Bill Barr tried to corruptly dismiss Mike Flynn's case after Mike Flynn pled guilty. Remember? And I can tell you that a lot of people back then said, well, there's nothing Judge Sullivan can do. Judge Emmet Sullivan was presiding over the case, somebody that I appeared before when I was a federal prosecutor in Washington, D.C., somebody for whom I have the utmost respect and regard and admiration. And everybody said, well, Judge Sullivan will have no choice, because when a prosecutor moves to dismiss a case, all the judge can really do is grant the motion to dismiss and get rid of the case. Judge Sullivan said, not this time, because Bill Barr has corruptly tried to dismiss this case. Bill Barr has walked away from his responsibility to represent the interests of we the people, the citizens of the United States. Bill Barr has corruptly migrated over to the criminal's camp, Mike Flynn, and they're now in league. Judge Emmet Sullivan said, yeah, not this time. And he appointed a retired judge by the name of John Gleeson to, in essence, argue on behalf of the people of the United States. So at least we had a voice in there. Technically, he wasn't made a special prosecutor or an independent prosecutor, but believe me, that is basically the role he served. And Judge Emmet Sullivan pushed back against that corrupt dismissal by Bill Barr. And he won. In the appellate court, he won. And he ordered briefs to be filed, and he ordered a hearing to take place. And the next step was he was going to decide the issue of whether he was going to sentence Mike Flynn or dismiss his case. And I don't know how that one was going to turn out, but however it turned out, Judge Emmet Sullivan would have done the right thing. And now Donald Trump has tried to short-circuit the whole thing with a corrupt pardon for Mike Flynn. You know what I want to see Judge Emmet Sullivan do? I don't know if he will, but you know what I'd love to see him do? I would love to see him say, this is obviously further corruption. So I'm ordering briefs to be filed by the parties to talk about the legal issue of whether a corruptly delivered pardon by a president is valid, or whether a corruptly delivered pardon by a president is void. And I'll receive your briefs on that, then I'll set a hearing, and then I'll decide what to do in the wake of Donald Trump corruptly pardoning Mike Flynn. I don't pretend that Judge Sullivan will absolutely take that path. I think it's a possibility, but not a probability. But what Judge Emmet Sullivan has already done makes him an American hero. And I don't use that term lightly. You know, Abe Lincoln and a handful of others, for me, fall into that category. Because I was in the courtroom the day Mike Flynn stood before Judge Emmet Sullivan, and Judge Emmet Sullivan said, "Sir, you've arguably sold out your country. Sir, you have arguably disrespected everything this flag stands for." And as I've said before, I got patriotic goosebumps. That's the best of America, and the best of the judiciary, and the best of decency and honor and humanity. That's Judge Emmet Sullivan. And I hope he feels like he has the ability to push back against a corruptly delivered presidential pardon for somebody who was virtually on the eve of potentially being sentenced after pleading guilty to lying about his contacts with Russia. But we need to hold on tight, folks, because what I can tell you is that when it comes to corruptly delivered pardons, I have a feeling Donald Trump is just getting warmed up. Here's what I want to leave you all with. This reinforces that Donald Trump's government is corrupt to its core, at least the officials that are standing by him through his unabated crime and corruption, illegality and cronyism, and his abuse of the rule of law. And for those people who have begun to suggest that we have to just turn the other cheek, just let bygones be bygones, just put it all behind us by declining, come January, declining to hold Donald Trump and his criminal associates accountable. I have one argument in response to that rising, albeit faint, chorus of people who are saying the way to deal with crime is by declining to get after it. Here's my response. For years now, we've been railing against a corrupt attorney general, Bill Barr, who has been shielding Donald Trump from all accountability for his crimes and has been shielding Donald Trump's co-conspirators, his aiders and abettors, his partners in crime. Bill Barr has been shielding them all from accountability, and we've been railing against it because that's not the way America is supposed to work. And now, if come January, Trump and his criminal associates are allowed to go free without any accountability for their crimes, aren't we doing exactly what we railed against Bill Barr for doing? for the past few years? If we also shield Donald Trump and his criminal associates from accountability for their crimes, then we are no better than the Bill Barrs of this sad, dark chapter in American history. And we cannot allow ourselves to become that. Folks, please stay tuned. Please stay safe. Hold on tight, because the road to justice just got a little bumpier. But justice is coming, and justice matters.